Caitlin Clark recently made a major announcement that most likely rocked the WNBA as a whole. Can we even pretend to be startled? To be honest, this season, the majority of you tuned in just to see her take the league by storm. She has officially had enough now. Yes, she is really gone and will never be seen again. And honestly, do you think she's to blame?
She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin...
She wasn't worthy of this league in the first place. After 11 years of being irrelevant, she brought a dead team to the playoffs, broke attendance records, increased ticket sales, and all but made her jersey a bestseller. What did she get in exchange? 6 unnecessary technical penalties, a cheap eye poke, shoulder hits, unfounded charges of racism, and a reputation as a nasty player.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all...
I would also leave if that's the amount of gratitude you get for making the league really watchable. You know what shattered her, though? Why did she suddenly unleash this bombshell? And what did she say that made it obvious that she was finished with everything? Let me tell you the whole story.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
Well, that was obvious from a mile away. Weeks of frustration had been building in Caitlin Clark's eyes. But the grief peaked when the Indiana Fever suffered a devastating defeat against the Connecticut Sun and were eliminated from the playoffs.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah. And she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
Clark gave it her all in the 87-81 win, putting up 29 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. But her team didn't back her up. Shots were missed, mistakes kept happening, and even basic blunders showed up. Fagbennell went 0-4. 3. Vivians could only manage 6 points, and Mitchell struggled, shooting just 3 of 12. When the clutch moment arrived, the team went silent. Gino was right. Clark needs a better team that can match her energy and level of play.
She's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
It hurt to see things fall apart around her while Clark was out there giving it her all. Her teammates would just fall over their own feet, return the ball to the Sun, and give Clark that defenseless expression that says, "Oops, my bad," after she made a clutch 3 or executed an incredible play. Her body language made it clear. Every fumble and missed shot felt like a kick to the belly. She didn't exactly fail to show up. She played basketball for 40 minutes straight, at full effort, leaving everything on the court, and it wasn't enough.
But she needs to be on a better team.
You could tell this wasn't simply a defeat as the final buzzer sounded, and Clark was standing there looking at the scoreboard with his shoulders lowered. This served as a wake-up call, an awareness that without a team that could really support her, no matter how hard she worked or how many shoots or plays she made, it wouldn't be enough. It was more than simply a playoff run ending. She could no longer wait any longer.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
When Caitlin Clark broke her bombshell, the WNBA as a whole virtually fell out of its chair. She is traveling to Europe in addition to quitting the league. Yes, exactly. The WNBA's most captivating rookie is packing her bags and declaring, "I'm out." And is she truly to blame? Clark concluded that she needed to push the reset button after all of the incessant bullshit, cheap shots, and unrelenting pressure. Days had passed since the Indiana Fever's heartbreaking playoff loss to the Connecticut Sun when this statement was made. And to be honest, this was inevitable given that she led her squad to prominence while receiving little backing.
Important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy.
On September 29th, 2024, Caitlin Clark announced she's heading overseas next season, saying, "I must be reset." Clearly drained, she criticized poor officiating, lack of protection, and ongoing pressure. Her message was honest. She felt unsupported. But this isn't just about the Fever. It's a league-wide issue. Clark's impact was massive. Indiana led the league in attendance. Ticket sales jumped 60%, and over 500,000 fans came just to see her play. She wasn't just a rookie. She was the face of a movement.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the play.
Furthermore, it goes beyond chairs and butts. A money-making machine, Clark was. After her jersey reached the stores, merchandise sales, which had been stagnant for years, skyrocketed. Her jersey outsold even the likes of Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi to become the league's best-selling item by August 2024. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the home court of Indiana, transformed from a deserted village to the city's most popular attraction. People were spending $200 simply to sit beside the court. In addition to creating history, Clark was generating revenue for the WNBA.
There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on.
And just like that, it's all at risk. With Clark heading to Europe, the Fever and WNBA face a potential collapse. In 2023, Indiana averaged just 3,000 fans per game. By 2024, with Clark, it jumped to 15,000. That's a 400% surge and over $5 million in ticket sales, all tied to her. She wasn't just a star, she was the golden goose. Her impact reached TV too. 1.5 million viewers watched Fever vs. Liberty in June 2024 on ESPN, beating average NBA viewership on TNT.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
These were unprecedented statistics for the WNBA. Superstar matches like Sabrina vs. Kelsey Plum or Brianna Stewart vs. AJ Wilson were drawing less views than Clark's games. The league used to rely on these games to boost attendance. Clark completely altered the story. Do you know what she received? However, after all of this, put your fingers to the count. Alyssa Thomas was the first to literally shout that racial prejudices are the main reason for Clark's popularity.
Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged.
She claims that Clark's dominance in a sport that is dominated by black players is the primary reason why people are swooning over her. Excuse me, I suppose that shattering records and scoring 35 points per game now mean nothing.
The most dominant team in the league, they can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals, they supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new big three? Dreamers, Liberals, 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota.
However, it was just the beginning. In the first game in the playoffs, Janai Carrington went all out in terms of filth. In addition to fouling Clark, she actually jabbed her in the eye, briefly blinding her.
If you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going.
And you know what? There was not a single foul call. Let's face it, referees. Clark is staggering about like she just got pepper spray. Additionally, Carrington is acting as if she was not the one who turned the game into a low-budget wrestling battle.
She's the golden goose.
Carter's playing rough, Clark's exhausted, and the refs stay silent. She's taken hits all season, physically and verbally. Even Cheryl Swoops questioned her popularity. But through it all, Clark hasn't broken.
I'm simply saying, the issue is about marketing versus basketball. The merits of playing basketball compared to the merits of bringing marketing into the equation to influence potential decisions.
The constant targeting, the blatant pettiness, and the way each foul against her was handled as an afterthought while she was thrashed for breathing too forcefully were the main causes. However, she still hasn't purchased her tickets. She seems to have suddenly decided that she should relocate to Europe. And to be honest, that's probably the greatest thing she can do at this moment. So she should go for it.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place